Stage 4. The daughter of the female lead, and our protagonist was born in 2007, and because their home was an old traditional attic flat, so its ventilation was not very good, thus not suitable for the growth of their child, so they sold their flat and moved to a rented high-rise apartment in the Kowloon West Seaside. At that time, our protagonist made a promise to female lead that from that time onward he will not be irresponsible like before, casually spending money on various items like buying music equipment and trivial things, and begin to look for music jobs which could relatively be easier to receive payment, and no longer going to start wishful projects with remote harvesting period. But at the end of the year, under the introduction of a close friend, our protagonist met with a young male singer-songwriter which he praised as a true musical genius which only comes every few decades, so he once again came out to prepare to make an album, yet another wishful project. With this singer, he took half of the money he got from selling the apartment, rented a place at Seam Sha Sui and built a recording studio with the singer as in order to build this studio. The singer also invested a lot of money, and our protagonist was designated to operate this studio day in and day out. Our protagonist was very happy to do this as he was a single-minded person and the only thing he wanted to do was to make an album with the singer. But he didn't realize that operating a studio is bound to burn money at a very fast rate, so after a year they had to close the operation because of poor management. In fact, the main and sole responsibility is on our protagonist, as the singer is only a person working in the legal profession field and had absolutely no experience in running a professional studio, and in fact the only reason these two start up this studio was simply to have a place to make the singer's debut album, and our protagonist, a person already in the professional music industry for some time, should equip the know-how to operate this business. Although the studio closed down, the singer's debut album was nearly 80% completed, but because they both have to live so soon after, the singer returned fully to his legal profession, and our protagonist also went back to doing music-related work. Our protagonist and female lead's economical health was in poor shape in the next few years because our protagonist was just a simple-minded musician and do not know how to advertise himself, so naturally his business as a studio producer was not very good, and our protagonist and female lead were in this limbo for a few years. Their daughter was growing up fast during this period of time, and after a few more years our protagonist had a stroke. On Stage 4, the boys' side song Cadillac Lover is a genre of music, rock and roll, that the male protagonist is relatively unfamiliar with. Troubles in the work field, his long-term negligence of his health problems, poor management of his money and assets, and a lazy and incompetent lack of self-disciplined young man who only likes to play music desperately has to grow into a family-oriented adult, the incongruous relationship with his partner, various incidents and pressures, all adding up, and finally, a stroke broke out in our protagonist. Cadillac Lover is a scream from the protagonist for his own uselessness and powerlessness in life. And the girl's side song In Wrong Hands is just like the name of the song implies. Our female lead feels helpless in the face of this man who really loves her but is also very incompetent when facing all the difficulties in life.
沉默是不可說的錯，是故作妄為。明白是傷害和受苦，不可以原諒我。從前的不可挽回，如江水向前，沒有滯留。不懂愛是否只會衝向絕藝，無力再閃躲。 逝莫怪天，如此夢幻似風似絕路，驟眼一刻且繼續去衝。如今時常回憶他回眸，狂哭狂言無用別怨天，是我不懂去珍惜你。明白是非一般的錯，大錯已鑄成，無能力將事情逆轉，傷心已無力挽。從前的不可挽回，如江水向前，沒有滯留。不懂愛是否只會衝向懸崖，無力再閃躲。如今無從回首，不能留，時光年年流逝，莫怪天。如此夢幻似風似絕路，驟眼一刻且繼續去衝。如今時常回憶他回眸，狂哭狂言無用別怨天，是我不懂去珍惜你。我已錯過這三眼像晚風消失的背影，無論對錯已經不可追悔，要改過以恨嗎？要問這是錯嗎？想不出究竟，其實我已像快車衝向山。從回首不能留，時光年年流逝沒法追，如此夢幻似風似絕路，驟眼一刻且繼續去衝。如今時常回憶他回眸，狂哭狂言無用別怨天，是我不知悔改。
情事不急躁，緣並非妄念，情是一首輕快步韻的舞曲。緣是天想賜，但人定有生死，期望那天緣分的終點會可共你相見。我記得曾話過，若有天你我分開7000里，無通訊更無觸摸，只靠心中所發出的一些小電波，你會披星戴月來找我。若愛不需強求，良緣定會將你帶給我，是我的叮當交給我， 讓你用誠意圍住我。是愛不需強求，良緣定會將你帶給我。是我的，定當交給我。沒有刻意地去找，不要傷痛地去等。你用一雙手抱我，如同我日願。是你早該遠離繁華盛世，貪戀那一切。